Today is Monday, January 29th, 2018, and welcome to Vanran10 on sports. So, as you'll see from the topic, of course, um, I started looking at some of the rookie stats, and because I was thinking to myself, it's like I've heard people criticize Lonzo Ball a lot this year that he's not as good as he maybe should be. But I started looking at numbers of other rookies because I'm going, well, I don't hear a lot about any of these other rookies either. Now, I know Lonzo's got a little bit more hype around him and a little bit more focus to him because of his dad, and he's on the Lakers. But why are we not talking about any of the other rookies? I mean, really, other than maybe you hear Jason Tatum mentioned. I mean, I don't hear a lot from the rookies that were picked in the previous year. So I started looking at some of their stats. Most of them unimpressive. Now there are a few that are pretty decent, but it started making me think. As much as Lonzo's been criticized, could he technically win Rookie of the Year? So right now Lonzo's stats are somewhere around 10 or 11 points a game, 7 rebounds, 7 assists. Pretty good for a pure point guard. If we're talking, Westbrook type of a point guard, that's not what Lonzo Ball is. Lonzo Ball is more of he's not a Steve Nash kind of a point guard. He's more of a Mark Price type of a point guard, or even more John Stockton. He's looking to get his teammates involved and looking to make the rest of the team better, looking, like I said, to facilitate the ball to other people on his team. And I think he's doing a very good job. Not to mention, 6'6", he's very good under the basket. I mean, he does have 7 rebounds a game. And, 6'6", you got to figure a center is probably going to be 6'10" to 7 foot. Power forward, 6'9" and up. So this guy's getting in the land of the Giants, and he's grabbing rebounds. And I don't think he's doing what Westbrook does, which is he gets in that prime rebounding position on free throws, because that's kind of a little bit how Westbrook gets some of his rebounds, is they put him on the free throw line in the rebounding positions where you would usually put a center and a power forward or 2 forwards, or usually don't stick your point guard there when the opposite team is shooting free throws. So I started looking at some of the stats. And then I looked at Tatum's stats. Right now, Tatum is averaging about 13.5 points, 5.5 rebounds, and only 1 assist. More points, less rebounds, and Tatum is a big man. Tatum is 6'8", 6'9". He's averaging less rebounds than Lonzo Ball, who's a guard. And of course, the assists, nowhere near. He's only averaging an assist a game. You look at Markkanen, who plays for the Bulls. Markkanen, who plays for the Bulls, I think is a forward. 15 points, 8 rebounds, 1 assist. So those are pretty good numbers for the Rook. But his only 1 rebound more a game and a lot less assists and about 5 more points. But is he more important to his team than Lonzo is? No, I don't think so. The Bulls aren't really that good this year either. De'Aaron Fox, who plays for the Sacramento Kings, is averaging 11 points a game, 2.5 rebounds, and 4 assists. To me, I'll take Lonzo Ball's numbers every day over a guy who averages 1 more point, because Lonzo's averaging 4.5 rebounds and 3 more assists a game. Dennis Smith Jr. for the Dallas Mavericks, 15 points a game, pretty good, but only 4 rebounds, only 5 assists, so less assists, less rebounds. And it looks like he's just a little bit more of a shooter than he is anything else. John Collins for the Atlanta Hawks, 10 points, 7 rebounds, only 1 assist. So I don't really put him up there, but I don't really give him a chance of beating Lonzo out. But the guy for Utah, Donovan Mitchell, 19 points a game, 3 rebounds, 3 assists. This guy kind of snuck up on me because I'm going, Donovan Mitchell, nobody talks about this guy. But he's got almost 20 points a game, 3 rebounds, 3 assists. If you can give me 20 points, I'll cut you a little slack in some of these other categories if you can get me 20 points. He's getting them 19, and he's still rebounding a little bit and dishing the ball a little bit. So he's doing a little bit of the other stuff. And now I know there's other crucial factors, but I wasn't going to go into steals and blocks, and I know there's the plus minus rating and a lot of other things that go into this. But I'm just going off the big three stats for most of these players. And the Utah Jazz, I think, are 9th or 10th in the West right now, so they're not even that much better than the Lakers. And then the other guy, Kyle Kuzma, kind of old for a rookie. He's 22. So it means he played almost 4 years at the University of Utah. So he put in his time there, whereas Lonzo's only like 20 years old. But Kuzma put in his time. But Kuzma's averaging 17 points, 6 rebounds, only 2 assists. The 17 points with the rebounds almost being what Lonzo does kind of washes out. They almost wash each other out. But Kuzma seems to disappear on a lot of nights. But even when on nights where Lonzo disappears points-wise, you still see him put up rebounds and assists. Which, if you're my point guard, I would rather you have 15 assists and 6 points. And I'll take a 2 for 9 shooting night if you facilitated 15 other baskets that resulted in 30 to 35 more points for the team. I'll forgive the 7 missed shots and the few points if you made up for it by getting about 30 to 35 more points over here with your offense. And he's a very good defender too. You got to remember, Lonzo Ball is a good defender. I think he's one of the league leaders in steals. So I wish people wouldn't criticize him as much. I've heard people call him a bust. This is a first-year player in the NBA putting up 10 rebounds, 7 points, 10 points, 7 rebounds, 7 assists in his first year in the NBA, and he's had triple-doubles as a rookie. That's pretty dang good. So there's one other wild card in this, Ben Simmons. Now, Ben Simmons' numbers are very similar. In fact, they're better than Lonzo Ball's. But Ben Simmons was drafted in the 2016 draft. Does he still, because he didn't play last year, does he still count as a rookie? Now, in my opinion, he shouldn't. He missed his opportunity. They redshirted him. I hate that the Philadelphia 76ers love to redshirt their players. But he was in the 2016 draft. It's not the 2017's class's fault that he didn't play last season. I like Ben Simmons. I really do. But I think that Rookie of the Year should go to the 2017 class. And if you were drafted in a different class, then you don't get to, you don't get to be in the rookie voting. No offense to Ben Simmons, I just don't think he should be there. If he is there, though, he is strong competition. He is 13.5 points a game, 8 rebounds, 7 assists. He has more rebounds and more points than Lonzo does. So, with a lot of that, to me, you can get rid of, in my opinion, you can get rid of De'Aaron Fox, who averages 11 points, 2.5 rebounds. To me, he's not in the running. 15 points, 4 rebounds, 5 assists from Dennis Smith Jr. I'm not going to put him in the running either for Rookie of the Year. Good points, but he needs a little bit more in the rebounds and assists for me to really consider him. John Collins for Atlanta, decent player. He looks like he's going to be pretty decent himself. 10.7 rebounds, 1 assist. Not really in the running for Rookie of the Year. But Kuzma, Mitchell in Utah, Markkanen in Chicago, and Tatum. These guys are the ones that are going to give Lonzo Ball a real run. But I'll say this for Tatum. I'm going to take Tatum out of there because he's only averaging 3 more points a game. He's averaging a rebound and a half less than Lonzo, and he's averaging 6 assists less. So let's get rid of Tatum. So now that leaves us Markkanen at 15 points and 8 rebounds. He's a big man. That's what he's supposed to do. But he's a big man, and he's only got 1 more rebound a game than the guard, the point guard. So I'm going to say Markkanen is not better than Lonzo Ball. So that leaves us with Lonzo Ball, Donovan Mitchell, and Kuzma. I'm going to knock it down to those 3. Now with Kuzma, 1 less rebound, 5 less assists, but 7 more points. With Donovan Mitchell, it's 9 more points than Lonzo Ball, 4 less rebounds, 4 less assists. But when you look at these numbers, when you really look at them, Lonzo Ball does what he's supposed to do. Donovan Mitchell for the Utah Jazz, he's doing what he's supposed to do. He's scoring points. He's got 19 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists. But is his team benefiting? Is his team really showing any kind of improvement with him? Like I said, I haven't heard the guy's name all year. Nobody's talking about this guy. Now, he's got about 30, 34 games to make that up somewhere in there, but nobody's talking about this kid. Kuzma and Ball, we hear their names a lot. Ball gets rated as a bust, but I like his consistency. I like these numbers of the points, the rebounds, and the assists. He's always close to those triple double numbers. And if you can be that good and you can play defense, that to me is pretty good. If I had to give my rookie of the year right now after 50 games, we still got another 30, 32, 34 left depending on what team you are. Right now I would give it to Lonzo Ball. Because his team is something like 5-8 without him in the 13 games he's missed. 5-8, 6-7 maybe. They might be 5-8 without him. So that's telling on just how much he kind of means to that team. So if I had to give out my rookie of the year right now, I'd give it to Lonzo Ball. Donovan Mitchell would probably get second, and then I'd give Kuzma third. But if Ben Simmons is eligible, his numbers are strikingly similar, except for he has another rebound and he has 3.5 more points than Lonzo. So if they consider him in the running, Ben Simmons is probably going to win this thing, unless Tatum. There's still plenty of time for a lot of these guys to improve their numbers. I think if Donovan Mitchell can get his average points per game up over 20 for a rookie, getting his number a little bit higher than that, he might start to turn heads, and the voters may go, that's a lot of points for a rookie. So, and especially if the Utah Jazz can sneak into that 8th playoff spot, that might also bring him a little bit more notoriety. But if I'm gonna pick right now, and of course we don't pick right now, and I don't have a vote even when they do vote, I'll take Lonzo Ball as my rookie of the year. There's something special going on with this kid, but there's some pretty good rookies in here. I'm curious to see what Donovan Mitchell is gonna do, and Kuzma. And Tatum, of course, is the wild card because he's a very young player playing on a real good team, so they don't have to play him as much. And then Ben Simmons, let's see what he grows into, but I still don't consider him a rookie. So with all that being said, to the troops, past, present, and future, thanks for the freedom.